Now, Markiplier, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you, and I didn't mean to drag you into the middle of this.
Hi everybody, it's your girl J9E. CoryxKenshin is he's always viral. Big fan. He made a video recently. It was highlighting an issue with YouTube. And if you are a content creator, then you can definitely everybody who is a content creator has had the stress of not knowing what the rules actually are, because a lot of things, like you will upload something and it's like it's not clear what's actually allowed. It's like there's a person who gets to kind of decide just based on however they feel today. It's kind of what it feels like sometimes, and you don't know. It's like all this effort going into making and putting up this video and editing and doing all of this just to then put it up, and then some weird flag comes from something and they won't tell you exactly what it is. I've put up a few videos where a part of it would get flagged, and then I would cut that part out and put it and repost it, and then it still would be flagged. And it was like, well, I thought that was the issue, was that part. And it's you don't really know, and it's like devastating, especially when you do all that work and then you go back and you watch it yourself and you're very proud of your work. It's like any other artist type situation, you know what I mean? It's just something so kind of devastating. So like with him, you know, he's pointing out that clearly there's an issue. And I mean, unless you pretending you know what he's talking about, it's clearly because of what he looks like. This platform, like many other things, it's like they'll let you get so much when you don't look like they do, or what they want, mostly what the platform to look like. It's just like in society. It's like, yeah, they'll let you get some, yes, but you're not supposed to look like any type of a representation of what the thing is about, because that's not it. That's not them being diverse. That's them being like you almost looking like you're the biggest part of it, and they don't want that. So whenever somebody comes in and they do too well without it seeming almost like an affirmative action type situation, where it's really just you being able to do all of that, make all of that stuff happen on your own, and just because of who you are and how people respond to you, because you're able to get so much done and get so much of a big response, it's like instinctive. How can we push him down? How can we push him down? Like, this is just life. Like, this is, I don't say this is America, you know, like, but this is what it is. Like, you know, we can keep going back and forth with is that what it is? Is that maybe it's not? We've been saying that since we've been freed. So we don't need to guess anymore, people. We know what it is. I mean, we're cooperating, we're playing nice here. I mean, but he's, going into what happened was he had uploaded some video games, a horror game, a mortuary assistant. Just about every big, I would say confidently that every big YouTuber has done a playthrough of this game on their channel. And so his got flagged. They put a age restriction on it, which really does affect your numbers, when they put the age restriction on there, and which is fine, except for like I said, every other huge YouTuber has played this and they all have their age restriction off, And so, well, first he had to find out what part of his was the reason why his was flagged, because he's thinking maybe it's something he did, something he said, something whatever. So once he finds out what it was this one particular scene that was about self-deletion and kind of implied in it or whatever. And so then once he knew that, he went back and tried to find YouTubers going through their videos, which is a lot of work, okay? Going through all their videos and stuff, trying to find out and try to see if they also, anyone who had that scene in theirs as well. And he found one, Markiplier. Shout out to Markiplier. I love Markiplier. He's like my favorite walkthrough scary game or gamer to watch. I watch him literally as I fall asleep, which is so weird. Who watches scary stuff when they're falling asleep? But I do. So anyway, so he finds it on his, and he has the exact same scene. There it is.
So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3, and he had the same situation going on, and his video wasn't age restricted. So I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted. Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that?
But his is not age restricted. So then he goes to his rep, his YouTube rep, and shows, sends the video and says, hey, send this up. Show them that this guy has this video. He has the same part in his. Why isn't his, age restricted? And so guess what they do?
They came back and they removed my age restriction. They took it off after they already rejected my appeal. I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it. Now, my YouTube rep, he was excited. He was, oh, great, this is awesome. Look, Corey, they took the age restriction off. I said, why? I expected them to triple down and give Markiplier an age restriction too. But they looked at Mark's video, and they used that to verify my innocence.
They take the age restriction off of Corey's. And his rep is happy. He's like, oh, good, we got it. It's off. But Corey's confused as hell because he's like, well, wait, if I'm wrong, if what I did was wrong and that's why I got the restriction, shouldn't you be taking it off of Mark's? Like, that isn't that how this should work? That should be me showing, oh, there's somebody else who had it up that needs to be taken off too. But no, based on the fact that Mark had it up and they wanted it to be okay for Mark, they went ahead and made it okay for Corey, which blew Corey's mind. Blew his mind.
Actually, number one, was it automated or was it a human that age restricted it in the first place? Number two, who was the human reviewer? Because it's a human reviewer once you submit an appeal. Who was the human reviewer that doubled down and rejected my appeal? Number three, why did it take Markiplier's clip in order for them to reverse the decision?
And so he was like, he kicked up some shit about that and was like, well, no, hold up now. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. So then guess what? Of course they did.
Let's get back to the current situation. So my YouTube rep assures me he's going to continue this dialogue with the policy team and try to get some answers to those 3 questions that I had. So another day, another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the video. They re-age restricted the video. I say, no way did they do that. I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted.
They put the restriction back on his, and then they also put it on Mark's. And I think they put it on some other people's too, because Jacksepticeye, another one of my favorites. Oh, I love me some Jack. But he also put it, they put the restriction on his as well. So it's just something so weird. It's like the most nerve-wracking thing, and it does stunt your creativity, like when you don't know how it's gonna go. And who are these people who are judging it? Even like if you put like non-copyright music, like my experience was like with the non-copyright music, I would find the non-copyright music right on YouTube promoted non-copyright music, put it on mine, and somehow it would get flagged as copyright. And I'm like, wait, now hold up. Now I got this from you guys. I have to say this out loud. It's like, why don't you know? Like, if you're gonna put it out like it's music that we can use, at least have it to where it'll show up, that it'll be cleared if somebody tries to flag it. But you're gonna have my stuff copyright claimed and it's cleared by you already? What is that? Like, so who are these people? Why are these people? And why is it automatically assumed that they're correct? It can't be that. For all the money that you are making, especially off of these people, like, you would think that you would be, there definitely is some room to be invested in fixing some of these things, correcting some of these things. Like, who are these people? Like, is it a machine that's just finding these things? Or is it a person with a personality and his own personal feelings, picking and choosing who he likes to do this to? Is that how this works? Like, I don't know. I mean, I understand completely where it's coming from. This stuff, it's nerve-wracking sometimes. And sometimes you do all of that work and then you just fall into a stupor because of that. It just throws you completely off. It doesn't matter that I'm right. It doesn't matter that I have evidence. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So I don't know. I get it. I understand, Corey. I completely get it. And it's pretty dope that you were willing to come out and call that out. It always takes that somebody to come out and say it out loud, because that's some scary stuff. It's like Rage Against the Machine. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to say my little piece. you know, because I feel you. I understand. It's traumatizing with this stuff. This YouTube is traumatizing sometimes. I envy those who started out on like, you know, other platforms and got big on other platforms and stuff first, because they always have that to kind of, if YouTube screws them, which they probably will, they have those things to kind of go back to in other platforms, and people know them on other platforms. But people who are have only gotten big on YouTube, you put all this effort into all this stuff, and just to know that it only takes 3 strikes and they literally wipe out all your stuff. Heaven forbid your things aren't backed up. Heaven forbid something happens to the stuff you did back up. Like, all those years of work just disappear. That almost feels like an audacity thing. Like, to shut it down so people can't see it is one thing, but to have it just disappear where you can't even retrieve your stuff, at least download it, still get a hold of it to download it, that feels like theft. Because for all we know, they still have the material. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's very stressful. And I mean, hopefully something comes from this and they fix some things and maybe it could be better. That's what I'm hoping for. That's all you can really do is hope for the best. And I'm with you, Corey. I seen Jacksepticeye made a video too. I love that guy. I love me some Jack. I love me some Jack. His accent is. If you are not a Jacksepticeye follower, you need to be. He's just a gamer. He's another gamer, but you know, one of the big ones, like, you know, like Markiplier and like PewDiePie. I don't know, a lot of people don't fool PewDiePie, but I love PewDiePie. Those guys are hilarious when they get together and stream games together. Oh my god, it's like the most fun that a human can have. It's just, even just watching it, I can imagine being involved in it. So yeah, but Corey, we're with you. And to everybody else, I love you. Be kind and peace out.